Hello and welcome to Avasam Insights. My name is Mark and I wanted to talk to you today about integrating your EKM store with your Avasam account so that you can sell dropshipped products from our verified suppliers. Now, as you can see, I already have my EKM store open and logged in, as well as my Avasam account. Now, to connect the two, I'm going to start off by going to settings and then to sales channel integrations. You can see here I already have a couple of accounts integrated, but not my EKM store, so I'm going to go to add sales channel and scroll down to EKM. If you have any questions about what you're going to need, we have help documentation. So clicking that button there will bring up any EKM mentioned articles there. I'm going to go straight to add. Now you can have more than one EKM account enabled and integrated depending on your account setup. So it's good to give it a recognizable name so that you can tell them apart later on if you need to change configurations. So I'm going to call this one my EKM test integration. And next. Now the first thing we need to do is use the auth key button to get authorization for us to talk to your EKM store on your behalf without you having to enter your username and password every time. So if you're not already logged into your account like I am here, when you click auth key it will ask you to log in. It will then load this page here. This is where you give us permission to talk to the store on your behalf. So it tells you what we'll be able to see, and I'm going to click allow. So this will auto close in a moment or two and go back to the Avasam tab. Now, next thing to do is to set what your default currency is for the orders that we're coming in. So I'm entering GBP because we're doing it in pounds. We use the ISO code. So there we see GBP. If I click next now, what we also need to do is tell the system which order statuses it's looking for. So I'm going to click there. So it will download orders that are marked as complete. What we then need to do is tell it what to mark it as in the store once it's been dispatched by the supplier. So I'm going to tell it that the complete order will be dispatched once that's happened as part of the sync. So the next key there will then take us forward. You'll see the little green box at the top there which confirms it was successful, and you can see it's now got an entry there under my sales channel integrations, and it's enabled. That means that we can download orders per sync, and when you have other things enabled like stock updates, it will perform those changes as well. Now I'm going to click on the entry to look at the properties. Now the first thing that's important to know, if you're not sure if the two are talking to each other, the test channel function will just talk on your behalf and make sure that we can connect to it. If that's a red error message, you can reauthorize, which will then take you to the same screen we saw before for the auth key. If that's not working either, you can reach out to support. Now, if we go down here, so we have shipping mapping. As you know, when an order comes through from your EKM store, Avasam will try to identify what the product is and what shipping method you're using, so it can charge you, and then once the order has been paid, it will pass it on for dispatch to the supplier. Now with the shipping mapping tool, this is where you're going to be telling Avasam what the shipping services on EKM are and what they correspond to in Avasam. At the moment, you'll have to wait for an order to come down which has that service in before you can map it. So the order will come in and won't be able to be processed until it's been updated. You'll check which service is on it, and then in here you'll select it and tell it which of the Avasam services it should be mapped to. What this means then is we'll know what to charge you for. So you'll select the two options, click map field. As you can see, this won't work because we haven't downloaded any orders yet. And you'll see an entry here. There is an option to click the X next to it to delete it if you change your mind later on. Once you've set up any mappings that you need to in here, then we'll hit save. Now the other thing that's important is that we need to know what the products are that you're selling. So when you're using the SKU mapping tool, I would always say use download first, because that will get us to check what the current status of the listings are on your site. Now we open the SKU mapping tool. So what we have here is a list of all the products that are in your Avasam inventory that you've sourced. any listings that are already on your EKM store. As you can see, we have a few, and you can see that it says how many are there, how many are unmapped, and how many are mapped. Mapping tells Avasam that when this product on this side comes down, it should charge you for the product on this side it's linked to. Now, if you have the same SKUs on your site as you do in Avasam, you can click on Auto Map. That will then go looking for any link up. As you can see, we've got 2, and it will create that mapping automatically. So extendable back scratcher black, extendable back scratcher black. As you can see here, they both tell you what their SKU and what the map SKU is. If you want to disconnect them, you can do that from here. If you want to manually connect something, then you go there, find the corresponding item as we scroll down and click there. That will create the link for you. If that turns out to be incorrect, we can unlink it. And it confirms up here. These will update. When you've mapped all the products that you want to be mapped currently, click close. Anything that is downloaded but unknown will be updated so that you can invoice for it. Any new orders that come down will use this mapping as well. If we now look at the additional settings section, what we have here is 2 settings that relate back to that. So we have split orders with unknown SKUs and exclude non-Avasam orders. These 2 are exclusive. You can have them both off, or you can choose one. So if you use the split orders option, the system will look at any orders that have a mix of known and unknown products from the mapping tool, and it will split them. The ones that it knows, the ones that are mapped, it will invoice you for, assuming that it knows what the shipping service is. The ones that are unknown will sit as unknown items in your order inbox. If you update the mappings or list them, the system will update, if necessary, resplit the order and invoice you appropriately so they can be dispatched. After 3 days, an order which is for unknown products will be deleted automatically. Alternatively, what you can do here is exclude non-Avasam orders. That means that any order that has a mix of products will not be downloaded. So obviously it depends on what suits your business model. You may not need to use either of those. If you're going to be using our listing tool, the listing tool automatically maps things so that as soon as it's on there, it's ordered and it's updated. We would obviously recommend that, and we have a separate video on the listing tool. But where you are doing a mix of Avasam and non-Avasam products, these are the options available to help you to automatically handle it rather than having to do so manually. Now, the stock update function, if you turn on, means that any mapped products will get updates when the available stock level changes at the supplier in Avasam. The price update is the same, but it means that you'll be controlling the prices from within Avasam, whether that's setting them manually on the products in your inventory or using our price automation rules, which would then make updates automatically to the price on the site based on any changes to the product or shipping price by the suppliers. Lastly, we have these 2 settings here. So the max quantity to advertise simply means that you're putting a ceiling on what stock you'll say you have. If you have 100 items in stock for something and you set this to 50, the system will only show 50 until it drops to 49 or below, at which point it will start to change. Once it goes above 50, it goes back to 50. And this is for all products. It's not a per product option. Similarly though, but more useful for a lot of people, is the stock threshold value. This changes the value at which you're going to tell the listings on your EKM store that they have reached 0 and are out of stock. So obviously, if you're selling something that's quite popular and there's only 2 or 3 things left, and 6 or 7 people get orders for them within the 10 minutes or so between syncs, then some of the sellers will get cancelled orders automatically and their customers will be disappointed. So by setting a slightly higher stock threshold value, you'll reduce the chances of being exposed to that. When you've made all the updates you need, you can click Save to apply them. Later on down the line, if you want to remove this integration, then you can do so and confirm it. Be aware that when you remove an integration, the system will no longer be able to update the orders when they're dispatched with tracking information, etc. It will also no longer be able to update prices or stock levels on those items when they change. So be sure that if you delete the integration here, you don't have any listings that are going to be abandoned and may generate sales you can't keep, causing disappointment. Also make sure that if you haven't updated all the orders that need to be dispatched, that you go and manually check and update them afterwards. So I'm just going to save this. Obviously, this is covered a lot of ground here. We have a separate video around listings. If you have any queries, you can reach out to us. We have live chat down here in the bottom right hand corner. You have the support tickets up there. You can also reach us by email on support@avasam.com. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it's been helpful.